Layoffs, pay cuts, a looming global recession. Sure, I'm young and have no chronic diseases, but looking into a pandemic-ridden future this early on in my career, I can't help but feel anxious 24/7. Am I overthinking this?
I can't recall the worldwide event like this that's lasted for as long. And this is not a single day event like 9/11, for example. This is akin to someone having like a chronic disease, right? Like a long-term illness. And the way we react to that is going to be very much more different. There is this group sense of anxiety or fear or uncertainty.
Since COVID-19 hit, countries worldwide have implemented lockdown measures to prevent the spread of the virus, leaving many people, including myself, to be cooped in their homes. I'm exhausted. I've been at home, getting to know my old, new housemate, my mom, and sometimes talking to your mom about your overwhelming existential dread isn't the easiest thing to do.
My mom's worries and my worries are different. How do I or my friends bridge this gap between our parents and us in understanding what we're actually going through?
Try and identify what kind of conversations you're having with your parents. And what I mean by that is this, right? When I say X, Y, Z, this is what I actually mean. When you say A, B, C, what were you talking about? What were you thinking about? Let me understand, right? Have a switch in your mind that says, okay, they're talking about their anxieties, I need to be empathetic about them, and it's about them. If let's say you're talking about your own concerns and your own fears, then flick that switch, right? So that whenever they respond, know that they're responding from a certain perspective. Now, are these switches easy to make? No, right? Because it takes time. And it definitely works better if both you and your parents are as aware in that sense. Right?
Of course, it's hard to communicate your feelings at a time like this. It almost feels like grief. And we often associate grief with loss. In this case, loss of routine, social experiences. As our futures are put on hold, you can't help but wallow in the uncertainty of our lives.
A lot of people associate this feeling of uncertainty with grief. What is this paranoia that you've seen or heard that people are going through?
A lot of people use work as a refuge from ourselves actually. We spend 8-10 hours at work, and when all this is happening, we don't have to listen to our inner voices, right? Because uncertainty means we have no resolution, we have no answers to our questions. We lose what we want or what we wanted to get for that matter.
How do we start being hopeful again when it comes to this?
I think for us, what the best thing that we can do to try and get out of it is to stay the course, right? So of course, make sure that you know the work that you're doing, make sure you do it to the best of your abilities. That being said, don't overpressure yourself as well. So if you think that, I need to upskill myself, I need to get better, this is going to overwhelm you. If it overwhelms us and it just overtakes our lives, then the life that we're living right now is going to be affected. Humans are inherently social creatures. I think there's a lot of power in seeing someone, right? See that person smile, for example, and you share a common a joke or his story or whatever it is. It's so powerful because that just enriches the story and the relationships that you have with people. Right? So that's incredibly important. Yeah.
With borders opening and people going back to work, there is a glimmer of hope that it will get better. But the uncertainty, that's still going to linger. What has kept me sane for most of the time is the connections that I form and maintain on screens. Seeing people be present online, trying to connect with each other has been therapeutic. I still think about my future. I think about people who can't return to work, people who lost their loved ones, businesses that had to close. But I saw this in a post the other day. It says, "You will be okay. You don't have a choice."